Pumpkin spice lattes are for sale. It feels like it's 50 degrees outside. I think whether we like it or not, fall may be here. And many of you sent off your kids to school today, maybe with a little trepidation. We hear a lot of adjectives for our times in which we live. These unprecedented times, these uncertain times, these tumultuous times. We hear lots of different descriptors of the time in which we live. So I was struck today by the opening prayer for Mass today, for the Nativity of Mary, that says this: "May the feast of the Nativity of the Blessed Virgin bring deeper peace." I don't know about you, but I think we could use some deeper peace. So what I'd like to do is explore with you the ways in which we can experience peace in our life in these uncertain, unprecedented times in which we live. And let's do that through the lens of Mary's Nativity today. Now, Mary's Nativity is one of only 3 nativities or birthdays that we celebrate. Obviously, Jesus is on Christmas Day, John the Baptist, and Mary. And today's feast, September 8th, falls 9 months after December 8th, the Feast of the Immaculate Conception of Mary, when we believe Mary was born without original sin. Now, if we think about what a baby is, those of you who have held babies, they are so precious. And I think there are 2 aspects of that babies that can give us an understanding of what God means by peace in that opening prayer. You think about when you hold a baby, you think about how tiny their fingers are, how teeny tiny their toes are, how much screaming or other things can come out of something that small. And so there's a sense of, when you are holding a baby, of a presence, of God's presence in this child, in this person. Like, here is God's presence. Isn't it the case that when a baby you get a baby to go to sleep, that you yourself are like, I think I'm just going to take a nap? Maybe that's because you're just super tired and have been up with them all through the night. But that idea of, like, here is so visibly God's presence. The other thing that I think can help us out is when we think about when we hold a baby, we have a sense of, like, this baby has so much more in store. That God has a plan for this child. That even though we can't see it, or we might not want to know what it is, God has something bigger in store. Now, presence and plan. Isn't it the case in our own life that when we lose sense of the presence of God, we start to feel that absence of peace? We wonder, where is God in all this? What's happening? What's going to happen? Instead of recognizing, where is God's presence right now in this situation? And secondly, when we lose sight of the plan, that what we are going through or what we are in the midst of right now is part of God's bigger plan, or that there is so much more to come, we can also feel that loss of a sense of peace. Peace for us is not the absence of conflict or of unprecedented things. It's recognizing God with us. So today, how might you be invited to that deeper peace that we heard of in our opening prayer? Maybe it's in a deeper recognition of God's presence in your life right now. Or maybe it's a deeper recognition that this is part of God's plan. Growing in God's presence and God's plan help us today to bring us peace.